Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown. So we kick things off with the arrival of the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, and the Bloodline coming down to the ring. But seeing the Bloodline without Jey Uso looks weird, to be honest with you. We've gotten used to seeing Jey Uso in the mix with the group, but now it just looks weird without him. Anyway, as DC is acknowledging the Tribal Chief, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes makes his way down to the ring, making his first SmackDown appearance in 7 years, according to Michael Cole. He politely asks Roman Reigns to have a one-on-one conversation without the rest of the Bloodline being in the ring, which Roman agrees to. And the rest of this promo segment, to me at least, was a gripping seesaw battle of words, because I was hanging on every single word that both of these superstars were saying. It was a good way to show how these two can interact through promos, but they're still like 4 weeks away until WrestleMania, so eventually they're gonna get physical. Ripley defeated Liv Morgan by submission with an inverted cloverleaf, sending a couple messages to the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. Backstage, Roman Reigns asked Jimmy Uso where Jey is, and Jimmy tells him that he doesn't know, prompting Roman to tell Jimmy that he's losing patience, but not losing patience for Jey, no, he's losing patience for Jimmy. Santos Escobar then challenges Dominik Mysterio to a match. He wants to teach Dom some respect. But while Santos is all about respect, Dominik is clearly not, because towards the end of the match he uses brass knuckles to distract the referee, allowing Ripley to hit Santos with the riptide, bring him back into the ring, and allow Dominik to hit the frog splash for the win. Dominik then steals the mask that Rey Mysterio gave to Santos and proceeds to rip it apart. Rey Mysterio comes out and asks for the mask back right before Dominik Mysterio decides to attack him. And with every week that passes, I just want to see Rey Mysterio finally snap and attack his own son, setting up this Rey Mysterio vs Dominik Mysterio match at WrestleMania. A video then plays of Sami Zayn making a promise to end the Bloodline, which again is similar to what Kevin Owens said this past Monday on Raw. So if the Bloodline shows up on Raw, they have to deal with Kevin Owens. If they show up on SmackDown, they have to deal with Sami Zayn. And with all of that, Roman Reigns is also thinking about Jey Uso while also having to think about his opponent at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes. That's a lot. That's a lot for one man to handle. Drew McIntyre arrives and makes it clear that he wants to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, but Sheamus comes out and he's not happy at Drew because he wants to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And while those two start arguing, LA Knight shows up and he also makes it clear he wants to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania before the New Day shows up and starts disrespecting the megastar LA Knight. And as the New Day are about to get into the ring, Karrion Kross also shows up, and then everyone starts having a brawl with each other. This entire segment just made me want to see Gunther defend the Intercontinental Championship in a 6-man match at WrestleMania. So apparently we were supposed to have a tag team match between Ronda and Shayna versus Natalya and Tegan Nox, but because of a backstage brawl that happened earlier in the night, it turned into a one-on-one match between Baszler and Nox because Ronda and Natty got hurt. And as for that one-on-one match between Shayna Baszler and Tegan Nox put up a fight, but Shayna Baszler won by submission. Then we had an interview with the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, and he is not pleased about the idea that he still does not know who his WrestleMania opponent is for the Intercontinental Championship. Bobby Lashley arrives on SmackDown and he calls out Bray Wyatt, but instead of getting Bray Wyatt, he gets Uncle Howdy attacking him from behind. Side note, when Uncle Howdy was laughing in front of Bobby's face, the voice kinda reminded me of Bo Dallas. I'm just saying. Anyway, Bobby got control of the fight and was about to spear Uncle Howdy until the lights went out. When they came back, Uncle Howdy was gone. Roman Reigns asked Jimmy Uso again, where is Jey? But this time Jimmy Uso tells Roman that Jey said, leave me alone. This did not make Roman Reigns happy and orders Jimmy to help Solo take out Sami Zayn, thinking that if Sami Zayn is gone for good, Jey Uso will finally come back to the Bloodline. But as Jimmy left, Roman Reigns told Paul Heyman that Jey Uso has 1 week to come back, because if he doesn't, he's not gonna blame Sami for the Bloodline being broken. He's gonna blame Jimmy. Then it was announced on next week's episode of SmackDown we're gonna have a fatal 5-way between Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, LA Knight, Kofi Kingston, and Karrion Kross to determine the #1 contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. And also next week, we're gonna have Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus the Viking Raiders in a tag team match. Then, it was time for the main event, as Solo Sikoa, with Jimmy Uso at ringside, took on Sami Zayn, who put up one hell of a fight despite the challenge of having 2 people to worry about. But, because of Jimmy Uso's interference, Solo Sikoa was able to hit Sami with the Samoan Spike and win the match. After the match, as they were beating up Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso got a little bit too overconfident, which allowed Sami Zayn to fight back and escape. This is definitely not a good look for Jimmy, and Roman is clearly furious at the results. Overall, this was a good SmackDown, and I can't wait to see what happens in next week's episode. The whole Jey Uso situation, the fatal 5-way #1 contenders match, I can't wait to see them. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments, follow for more wrestling content, but until then, Misfit Gentlemen out.